Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing really well, no matter where you are. Thanks for checking in with another video on the channel of Felix Love Watches. We talk about the world of Seikos, some of the most affordable, iconic dive watches, such as the SRP Turtle, the reissue that is the SRP line. That was released almost 7-8 years ago. And of course, we have another one here on the Pepsi for you guys on the show. That is the SKX 009. Now, I do have a piece of paper in front of me. That is actually a service cost for the Black Turtle. That was done, I think about a month ago, 15th of March. Just to show you guys what's on the paper first. So this service was done, a service call for the SRP 777, which had a 436 movement on the 15th of March. It cost me $264. Of course, that is in dollars, which converts to about maybe 170-ish. But again, I think the proportion will work when it comes to my topic of today. That is, if you are Seiko lovers and if you have some of the very iconic divers, whether that is for the short term or you had it for, in the past 3 to 5 years since the watch was released, is it worth it to pay $170 or $180 US or $260 wherever you are as a Seiko collector? Okay, is that doable? Because those watches, of course, now in the model name of SRPE line, if you can find them very conveniently around that $300 to $350 US. So in terms of cost between, the proportion of having a service and the buying as a brand new, it's about half the price of getting the watch serviced. Okay, so put in the extreme term, if you spend $10,000 on a Omega Speedmaster, would it cost you $5,000 to service it? Of course, the answer will be no. But for a very lovely, iconic, highly popular Seiko, is it worth it to spend half of the cost of a brand new watch to service the watch? So here's the question. Okay, now my answer to that question is two-part. Part number one is for watch enthusiasts that you see yourself not playing the long-term game in the Seiko. What do I mean by that is you are getting your toe in to the affordable sports watches, dive watches. The watch costs between $300 to $500. And you are going to experience different brands, different manufacturers, different qualities, different designs, different style, and you're going to experience that stage between the next 2 to 3 years. And once you've done it and you're planning to up the game into something higher end, maybe watches cost between $1,000 to $2,000 or even more, but you really wanted to experience the game of Seikos, and of course, this is a very classic. That is the reissue of the 6306, 6309, but you only want to do it for a couple years. Now, if you fit in this category, I do not recommend you to spend half of the money of service the watch, because highly likely, this is a very reliable 4R36 movement. It doesn't miss a beat unless you put the watch throughout trauma and the watch somehow suffers damages when it comes to the movements or any other parts of it. And then the watch starting to run very, in terms of very fast or very slow, you need to get a service because you still want to have it throughout your rotation. If you're at that category of watch collectors, you're only going to have this watch for about a year or two. Do not get a service unless something goes significantly wrong. And you know what? Even if it goes significantly wrong, I highly doubt that you're going to have a problem with selling the watch. You can simply put the ads up saying, I've dropped my Turtle. Now it's running about 2 minutes faster. Might need a service. Here's the full set with piece of the boxes that come with it, the tag and the paper. I'm selling for $100. I'm sure someone will pick it up. Okay, so that's for part number one of my answer. Okay, do not recommend you to spend that much money because it's simply not worth it, because you're not going to have it for long term. Okay, am I that type of category of collectors? Do I fit into that zone of having it for a couple years and then just flip it and then get something else? Guys, I think you know the answer. I'm not, right? So I fit category number two. That is, I see myself climbing the price tier and the horology level in the game of Seikos and Grand Seikos and the overall watch market. But in saying that, I still believe I will have a core collection of Seiko divers that I iconically designed, which is case design. And this is, you know, in the community that people truly love. And you know what? A 4R36 movement such as this, the Seiko turtle issue, is one of those watches. So for me, regardless of how far I will go in my horology and pursuit of happiness, maybe I'll end up buying a Seamaster, a Speedmaster, maybe I'll end up buying a Rolex Explorer, a Submariner, which however far, however long that I'll go for that future, this is my stable. I will never sell. Why? Very simple. When you're looking at something out of an object, such as watches, when you're asking yourself, should I pay for this? Should I buy for it? Don't really just focus on the price. You want to focus on asking yourself the question, when you're currently in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, when I'm in my 60s, late 60s, when I'm in my 70s, when I'm in my 80s, I still need a watch to tell time. Would I still be happy strapping this on when I'm so old that I really can't get out of bed, but I still can leave my arm up, right? That's the way I look at it, okay? Now, the turtle fit that bill. So for me, I will have a relationship with this watch for the next 20 to 30 years at least. Now, if that's my game, and if something goes on with it, for example, if I drop my watch or whatever happens that you do need a service, or you just care so much about the watch, you want to service every 5 years, which is what not Seiko recommend. They recommend every about 2 to 3 years, okay? But again, if you have 20, 30 Seikos, it will be a nightmare just to get more service in that period. So if you really care, and if you love it to have in the long term of your collection, every 5 years, I recommending you to get a service. Costs about half of the money. Every 5 years is not a whole lot of money. So if you're looking at, you know, the future of the next 20 to 30 years, you probably service every 4 or 5 times of the next 30 years, okay? And that's going to cost you about $1,000. For the next 30 years, really not a lot of money. But again, it plays a very sentimental role in your collection. So that's my take. And especially just to add on, of course, this is not the JDM version. This is the J version. You can see that made in Japan dial. I think some of the SRP also has that made in Japan dial, but more importantly, it doesn't have the 3 o'clock lume. I love the versions without it. Okay, so plus all those little intrinsic details just make this turtle even special. I love the black dial. It is a tremendous watch, legible, durable. It is trustworthy friend out on the field. Of course, I'm going to strap it up, and I just summarize what I've just talked about, right? 2 types of collectors. If you're in the game of Seikos, game of iconic design, Seiko diver and sports watches for the short term, 1 to 2 years. And of course, nothing disrespect to that approach. And if you're that type of guy, don't service it. Just make sure you don't drop it. You keep everything as a full set, the tag, the box, the paper. Then you just run with your life. After 2-3 years, you know what? Maybe you'll change your mind. You want to keep it. Or maybe you will pass it on to the next collector. And he will be really happy that they're buying something off someone that has paying respect to the watch. All right? Type number 2. All right? That would be me. Someone who's going to have a long-term, I'm talking about 20, 30 years relationship with this watch. For me, I will 100% service it every 5 years because I want to make sure everything's still running smoothly, running well. So by the age of my 70s, 80s, this watch will patina. That aluminum bezel will get scratched up so much. The case will be shattered. Not shattered, but the case will be dings and bends on it. But you know what? Actually, just let me grab my 7548, mate. So this one's amazing. 1982. Just imagine your Seiko Turtles and your Seiko SKXs. I'm talking about, of course, the 007, 009. Let me take it off again. Will ends up after 42 years, like the 7548. Still get your Rolexes, guys. Still get your Rolexes. Still get your Omegas. Still get them all. Get them all. But don't sell those icons, man. Never sell icons. It's like when you're buying a blue chip stock that you believe in the intrinsic value, what Warren Buffett talked about. If you know something deep in your heart, then you can control it. I'm not going to sell those iconic pieces because after 42 years, these will be as desirable, as highly thought after, probably even more than this. And after 42 years, this will be about 100, this will be about 80 years old, and people will love it. Okay, so Turtles. Okay, let me just summarize on that point. Turtles, SKXs. What else? Of course, the legend, the myth, the people's champ, SPDX 017. The last gen of MM300 had the prints on it. Don't sell. 007, do not sell. What else? Ani, SNJ025, Black Dial, do not sell. The Alpinist, SARB 017, do not sell. So those watches, I strongly recommend you keep them for the long term in your collection, no matter how far you go. Because again, you will find some of the collectors having those watches in their, among their Rolexes, Omegas, and Cartiers. You wouldn't be surprised, okay? Do not sell those iconic Seikos. They will be a long-term friend for you and your friends and your family. You get to pick them up when you're old, and they will bring a lot of joy. Okay, that's my today's topic. Hopefully, you guys has got my point. And any questions, leave it down in the comments in below. And of course, I'll see you guys very shortly. Look at that dial, guys. Look at that, beautiful, so deep, so beautifully done. Okay, Zarasu polishing. Okay, all right. Thanks for being with me. Feel free to check out my other videos if you got time on the weekend. And no doubt, I'll see you guys very shortly in the next one. Peace out.